What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Come Back Sports, our weekly sports talk show where we give you 10 sports topics and we discuss them. These sports topics span across the country and across the globe: pro sports, amateur sports, college sports. We're certainly going to be talking Olympics. That's coming up. Can't believe it. And a lot to talk about this week, as usual. And of course, as always, I am Pat the Shot Caller Flaherty. I am joined by my partner, Brandon the Coach Perry. Brandon, what's happening, buddy?
What's up, Pat? I'm doing good. Before we came on the air, I just seen that LSU is reporting a loss of $80 million in their athletic department since the pandemic started. So for those people that don't think athletes should get paid, there's just one number for you.
Yeah, that's just a loss. That's not even any type of total revenue or anything like that. That's pretty amazing. I'm sure that topic is a big one that's going to be coming up a lot over the summer. We don't have that as a topic this week just yet, but we will get there for sure. We're going to kick things off here this week with topic number one. Of course, it's the NBA. We're now in the conference finals portion of the NBA playoffs, and the team that's looking the best right now, despite their top player being out because of COVID health and safety protocols, is Chris Paul. The Phoenix Suns. The Suns stay on the rise. They have looked very impressive over the last couple of weeks. Of course, they defeated. They got to the Western Conference Finals, rather, and have won their first two games of the Western Conference Finals, defeating the LA Clippers. They're now up 2-0 on the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. Brendan, they are looking good right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're just coming off sweeping the Nuggets, and now they're up 2 games on the Clippers. And I mean, it's a really good start. And I've been telling people this for, I guess, weeks now, right? And I think you've been saying the same thing, that this is the team to watch out for right now. They're playing the best. They have some of the best coaching. By the way, look at the play he draws up to win the game. I mean, they're just got everything going on right now. They got an amazing coach. They got amazing players. They just won NBA Executive of the Year. I mean, like I said, I feel like it's like 1993 again, and it's Dan Marley again, because this is the Phoenix Suns team that everybody wants and everybody loves to see. And like I said, it's just bringing back that nostalgia of those old Suns team and that old era. But yeah, I mean, they're just really, really hot right now. And in the NBA playoffs, that's the time you want to get hot, because often the team that does get the hottest and goes on a streak is the one that wins the title. And right now, they're on a 9-game winning streak right now in the NBA playoffs, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. I think last night was one of the best chances to actually get a loss for them, and they still managed to pull out the win with the last-second out-of-bounds alley-oop play. All right, and I've got to admit, I'm a coach, but even I didn't know that there was no goaltending when there was an out-of-bounds play, okay? So that's pretty good to know, and I don't know if it's the same at the college level or the high school level. I'm going to have to really look into that, especially for my own X's and O's. But yeah, I mean, Monty Williams knew what he was doing, drew up an excellent play for Ayton. And if you've heard the audio on it, he says if he throws it, you have to try to dunk it. And that's exactly what Ayton did. He followed his coach's call and it won the game. And I'm telling you, I think the Clippers were shocked, and I think it's even going to affect them in Game 3. Even though it's in LA, I'm still looking for the Clippers to be coming off a little sluggish, because this is a game that they thought they were going to win, and they did not. I mean, and you got to look back to their star. You got to look back to, obviously, no Kawhi Leonard first off, but then, obviously, again, Paul George coming up short in big moments. And I think at this point, he's really not going to be able to shake the pandemic Paul nickname, because missing those 2 free throws was huge, to be honest. That really would change the game. Phoenix wouldn't even had a chance to really even come back and win the game if he hits those 2 free throws. So it's just really one of those things where I think the Suns are going to continue on. This was the game that they should have lost. They won it, and they're still moving on, and they're going to get hotter.
Yeah, no question. I think one of the things that I love about the way that this team is constructed is that they have a really good mix of veterans and guys that they drafted. So Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton. Booker was a first-round pick. I think it went like 11 or something like that in 2015. DeAndre Ayton a couple of years ago was the first pick overall. You know, Luka Doncic was in that draft, and Trae Young was in that draft. But still, Ayton is finally really looking like a first overall pick. And he obviously hit that alley-oop, or was on the receiving end of the alley-oop there. They signed Chris Paul in the offseason. They signed Jay Crowder in the offseason. They re-signed Dario Saric, another veteran. And during the break between the bubble and the stoppage in the regular season last year, they signed Cameron Payne, who, by the way, had 29 points and 9 rebounds off the bench. Or he might have even started last night because Paul wasn't there for the Suns. So, they have a good mix of guys they've drafted, other guys too, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, a few other guys as well coming off their bench that contribute for them along with those veterans. And then Jay Crowder has been great for them, filling the role that they've needed all season. He's the one that threw that alley-oop to DeAndre Ayton. So the way that their roster is constructed is perfect to make a playoff run like this. That's why James Jones was the executive of the year. To go back to the alley-oop, I think the reason why it's not goaltending is because you can't take a shot from out of bounds because you can't hit a shot from the out of bounds. So it's not technically a shot if you're standing out of bounds and bounding the ball. That's why it's not goaltending is what I believe the ruling is. But yeah, the Suns look like they're ready to go. I mean, this was the time when you thought the Suns were vulnerable, when Chris Paul was going to be out because of health and safety protocols. I believe he can come back Thursday. That's, I think, the earliest he can come back. I think as long as he does everything he's supposed to do with the health and safety protocols, which I think he will. So, even if the Suns lose Game 3 in LA, they're looking primed to do well the rest of the series. So they're in great position to make the NBA Finals. The Clippers have been down 2-0 before this postseason and in the past, so I think the Clippers can still come back, but they're in a 2-0 hole. And against this Suns team that's very deep and has a lot of veterans, it's going to be hard to come back.
No, I agree. I mean, once you add Chris Paul back to this mix, they become the best team in the playoffs, I think, honestly, that's left. And honestly, there's only 4 teams left, so you want to be the best team that's left. And they're the hottest team as well, and they don't have arguably their best player. We've talked about it on this show before, that Chris Paul and Devin Booker are probably like a 1A and a 1B when we're talking about the superstar that drives the engine on this team. And we saw it Game 1 with Devin Booker putting up a 40-point triple-double and them kind of just walking to an easy win against LA. And then, honestly, Devin Booker doesn't have a big night last night, doesn't really need to because they have such a good balanced team. They have such great coaching. And like you said, Ayton is turning into that first-round pick and paying it off. So it's just really one of those things where I think right now, and like I said, I've been saying it on this show for weeks, that they have to be the favorite to win the NBA Finals right now, and they're really showing that, and they're getting hot at the right time. That's always the best time to do it. And I've really got to give my hat off to Jay Crowder. Everywhere the man goes, he plays extremely hard and contributes to wins and contributes to good teams. Obviously, we got to see a lot of him here in Boston, and we enjoyed his time here, but he moved on. But look, like I said, he contributes anywhere he goes. And I'll tell you what, that pass, there was zero room for error there in that moment. And Jay Crowder delivered a perfect on-time pass, and Ayton just put it home, man. Honestly, Ayton had the easy job there in that play. Jay Crowder had the hard one, and it paid off. And I think, like I said, cheers to the coaching as well. What an excellent drew-up play there in that moment where he knew this is the moment. If my team's going to get the win, it's going to be here right now, and this is how we're going to do it. And like I said, if you listen to the audio, the way he coached up Ayton, and then it just worked out. It played off exactly the way he said it. So you really got to give a big ups to the gorilla there for the Phoenix Suns and how they're playing right now. And like I said, they've got to be the favorite for the NBA Finals going forward. We will definitely be covering more of them. And like I said, man, I love Devin Booker too, man. What a sweet jump shot that kid has. It's just so beautiful to watch.